What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to dive down the rabbit hole and learn about Linux. What is Linux? And who cares? I really don't want to learn anything about Linux. I like Windows. I like my Mac. That's fine. If you're in any position that requires using technology on a regular basis, you might want to become familiar with Linux if you haven't already. You don't have to be an expert, you just have to be comfortable navigating through the terminal. You have to understand the commands and be comfortable with the commands. And if you can't figure out what a command is, you have to know how to look it up within a terminal. It's huge. Linux is huge. First of all, it's just another operating system, only it's open source. Unlike Windows, Microsoft Windows, where you have to obtain a product key and license that software, which has been Microsoft's go to uh, revenue of income since the early 80s. It's open source. Linux, you can download a distribution, you can install it on a laptop or a desktop tower, and you can run it for free. You don't have to pay anything. It's awesome, and it's really kind of exploded within the last 10 years, especially as the Internet of Things devices expand exponentially. So you have your automated smart home devices like your webcams, your motion sensors, your fire alarms, your I don't know if they have refrigerators. I'm sure they do. Yes, uh, access control systems like locking mechanisms on your door systems, alerts. They all have Linux embedded on the firmware. They're all running Linux kernel, a Linux kernel. I'm not sure what distribution, but it's Linux. Your smartphone, if I can find what I did with mine, all Android devices are running Linux. Yes, they are running Linux kernel. And Chromebooks, that's just the primary go-to device for students in grades K through 12. Guess what? They're all running Linux. So, guess what, people? You need to know Linux. Even if you don't use technology, but you kind of are interested and want to learn more about it, now's a good time to start. For IT professionals, especially information security or network administration, even software development, any job in IT, any field in IT, you need to know Linux. You don't have to be an expert. You just have to navigate through the terminal. Because one of these days you're going to sit down and you're going to be given a task to fix a problem, and you're not going to have a mouse, or you're not going to have an icon to click on. You're not going to be able to open up the File Explorer and navigate to that folder. No, you're going to need to use the commands, like in the good old DOS days, to get through it. So Linux and DOS like you have the Windows command prompt, which is your dir command that kind of displays the files in that directory, very similar to the Linux ls command, which lists out the files in that directory, and we're going to do exactly that. So enough yakking, and let's start hacking.